Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second edition ever of the Hearthies, where we commemorate the good, the bad, and the memey side of all things Hearthstone Grandmasters. I am your Master of Ceremonies tonight, Frodan, joined with my co-host for the Americas region, TJ Sanders, the ever so well and dressed up dapper Raven from the Europe region, and we have Derek Brown, who clearly did not get the memo on how we're supposed to be dressed today in the attire. Derek, what are you? Are you just dressed in a white t-shirt today?
I mean, can I just set the stage here? I wasn't even told that this was going to be a joke beforehand. TJ, my boss, told me to wear this before we started, and now he's giggling at me like a petulant child. I'm disappointed, TJ.
Right. So the good, the bad, and the Derek Brown of the Hearthstone Grandmasters is what we're going to be looking at today. Raven, how you doing on this fine day?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be a part of this prestigious awards, you know, and I do put the effort in, unlike some people here. But yeah, I'm excited to get going.
That's right, DJ. We're back for another season. Clearly, we are the best dressed, so we don't even have to announce that category, given that we are rocking really high-end tuxedos. TJ, how's life been? How's everything with the family? I know you had your second child since we're having a Hearthie, so by the time we have a third Hearthies, you're going to have a third child, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, and then 4 for the 4th. You know, every time I start working on the Hearthies, you know, it just a kid pops out. That's just how it works. No, I'm excited for the Hearthies, or maybe I'm not excited for the Hearthies. I don't know. The first one was the weirdest, dumbest, but most glorious piece of broadcast that I've ever been a part of. And I just hope we can match that. I just hope we can match it.
That's right. TJ hears the Hearthies, and the Sanders family celebrates.
Yes.
We'll just leave it at that. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to have 10 categories, and we will be showing the nominees. And then from there, we'll be talking about those nominees a little bit and then announce a winner. It's pretty straightforward. It's not that serious. But with that, we're going to pretend it's serious the entire way through. So let's go ahead and jump into our first category for today, which is the hottest takes. Now, this will cover everything from the first season of Grandmasters in 2020. And we're going to start things off with a old member of the Europe region. It is Viper, who said back in April 2020, on the 7th of that month, he said that current Demon Hunter decks are literally the same as Pirate Warrior. It was OP on day one, but it would not be as powerful later on. Changed my mind. Then you have nominee number 2, for Hunter Ace, rest in peace. I was hyped about the fact that they're going to release an entire new class expansion, but never thought that they would release 9 new ones on day 2, referencing the Demon Hunter nerf. And then, of course, we have Casey's Callout, who talked about people submitting Druid for GM, but don't play Black Jack Stunner and Rogue and no Psychic Demon Hunter, or even still playing non-egg Rage Warrior. Please just make it look like you play the game. And then, of course, we have Machamp with a really fun Glory, Alutimu, and Possessi. What is this? Derek Brown, I actually need you to explain this nomination for me. You're the APAC expert.
I mean, this is my favorite kind of meme. I have literally no clue what it could possibly mean. Alutemu, I assumed you might get it. It might be an anime thing, Dan, that I'm way too cool and popular to understand, but apparently not. It just seems to be absolute nonsense that no one understands.
Yeah, I don't really get it at all. Raven and TJ, what do you make of that? Was that like a 3 in a row, like a triple? Was it a Battlegrounds meme? I'm not even sure.
I don't know, but it was a hot take. That's all we need to know.
All I do know is the difference between some of the European players' opinions on Hearthstone is quite hilarious, and it's still ongoing now. We're even still seeing tweets about different decks, whether you should bring them on or not, how much people even play, different archetypes. It's pretty hilarious. I'm looking forward to actually going to Season 2 of Grandmasters as well, so I continue to see the Europeans fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, Viper's take, sorry, Dan, wasn't that wrong. It's just the timescale was a little bit off. Eventually, 5 waves of nerfs later, yeah. Demon Hunter wasn't the same deck as it was when it started out. It was just a little bit longer than a week.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't the same deck when it started out, but it's still like one of the most powerful decks.
That's right.
Fair enough. He was wrong.
A stopped clock is right twice a day, but we shall see who is actually the winner. So, without further ado, the winner of our first category of the hottest takes is Derek Brown, who replied to Viper, Gia, and Dan Gaskin and said, dude, my logic was airtight. This is in reply to...
No, it's not in
Viper's
reply to
tweet?
anything. It's a standalone tweet. It's the hottest take because Derek's logic is never airtight.
I
was
don't
gonna
even
say,
know
I've
what
cast
that
with
was.
this
I
guy.
don't.
Wow, what a curveball.
I have
Clearly-
no recollection.
Clearly,
of
I have
ever saying
honored
that.
the tradition of not knowing who the winners are beforehand, because that's what you're supposed to do. TJ apparently decided to just go completely left field for our first category. Derek Brown, your logic is never airtight, according to TJ Sanders. Response?
Well, I mean, it's quite clear already that this is, once again, the only reason that I was ever employed in any capacity to cast Hearthstone is just because TJ absolutely loves making me regret ever being born, and I can see that the motif, the theme, is carrying on strong here. Again, I have no idea what on earth I was even responding to there. Shout out to Dan, I guess, but...
I do love the fact that there was no delay in this. There was no build-up. It was category 1. Let's laugh at Derek. I cannot wait to get into category number 2.
Oh my
I
God.
promise that not all of them are making fun of Derek.
Right, so 1. You left one real one in there at the end.
I can promise you that maybe there's one more that makes fun of Derek.
Well,
we'll just
I
have
guess
to
you
find
really
out.
don't know. This is sort of a puzzle box of Hearthie awards. You know, it really could go any direction. We're not really sure what's going to happen. But with that, let's go to another category, which I think is a little more grounding
Please.
and quite possibly could be one of the more fun categories that we have for tonight. It is the best pop-off, meaning the celebration of a really big moment, whether it's a win or a really fun outcome based off things like Puzzle Box. So let's go ahead and check our nominees for Category 2, the best pop-off.
Sure, I mean, if you want to be ludicrously
gonna
pessimistic,
be
but
it.
it doesn't matter now. Very little seems to matter. Silvername with the biggest pop-off.
Just so sad to see Samuel Tao's expression now. He looks so defeated, sinking lower and lower into his chair. But Frosty, on the other hand, with Party Popper, what do you call that?
Yep, the party popper and the party horn. I take back everything I said about Frosty having even a lick of decorum about putting his opponent down to 0-4 and possibly blasting him out of Grandmasters.
I can see.
Really rough to watch. And for a bit of happy moments, Tyler did promise us some dance moves if he won the series. You know,
Oh my God.
in any other situation, I would be so happy to see players flex on each other after a win, but the way that that ended for Don, this just feels really... Of course, Tyler doesn't know how Don's been reacting, but it feels really mean right now.
Another salty impact. This is like the 5th one this weekend from 5 different people.
And here we go,
It's just
Gia.
our thing
Tyler
now.
promised us a good celebration if he wins, and here it is.
Oh, a dab! 2 dabs! This is amazing.
That was the
Tyler's
cutest
whole
thing I've ever
family,
seen.
his whole family is flexing on all the other Grandmasters.
All right, well, if Tyler's mom doesn't get a Lifetime Achievement Award, then I don't know who will in Hearthstone at this point. But those were some pretty contested nominees. Derek, you got to relive your greatest casting achievement. So, you know, just walk us through your thoughts when you were watching that go down.
I mean, they're all so glorious for so many different reasons. Speaking of glory, when he threw a game of Hearthstone when being eliminated out of Grandmasters was on the door, and then Tyler proceeds to stand up and start breakdancing on the floor was one of the most perfect, cringeworthy moments I've ever witnessed in my entire life, and I will love Tyler forever for it. And as you were saying about Tyler's mum getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm vying for more than a Hearthie for her. I'm going for a Nobel Peace Prize, I think, because that for me brought me so much tranquility, and I think for everyone around the world as well, as she just dabbed on a former world champion. You can't stop her.
Yes. Can't stop it at all. So with that, let's go ahead and find out who wins the best pop-off for Hearthstone Grandmasters for the Hearthies Season 1. It is...
Promised us a good celebration if he wins, and here it is.
Oh! 2 dabs!
Action, which was just... It was perfect, TJ. And, you know, where's this? Why aren't we having Grandmasters include more of their family members in their celebration? America's, we don't really get any of this kind of action, do we?
No, I don't know. I can't even think what would happen. I feel like Europe has pets, right? There's a ton of people with pets.
Yep.
At least Board Control with his cats that he sometimes involves in his celebrations, but I don't know. I wish we had more. Or at least, you know, little dances, little celebrations. The biggest pop-off we had in Americas was like Muzzy going. And that's it. That was literally the biggest pop-up we had in Americas all season.
Yes.
So
I
don't
think
know.
for Tyler as well, it was and his moment. It was just the escalation, and I think it was the fact no one expected it because you know he did the dance, and then suddenly the next one he just leaves camera shot, and you're like, okay, well, what's he going to bring on? Nothing. His mum's just going to come on and double dab. It was pretty impressive, and if she didn't win, then there would have been a farce, and we all would have blamed Derek, so it would have been okay.
I mean,
well-deserved
you can blame
Hearthie.
me all you want, but quite clearly, I think Asia Pacific is the home of the family members. We have Tyler's mum dabbing. We had, I guess, rather than have, Samuel Sal's brother walking through in his pants, unaware that he was on camera.
Yes.
It's just time after time. Great moment. The family coming together in support of the Grandmasters.
That's right. Meanwhile, Americas, we sometimes have college roommates walking with the basketball in the background, and then they retire the next season. So not really many America's nominees so far, but we have 8 more categories to go. So let's go ahead and go into category number 3, the best newcomer on Grandmasters. Let's check it out. We have Language Hacker with 2 Swiss top 8s, a finals appearance, and, of course, making playoffs in his first season. And we have Empanizado, who was able to get a Swiss top 8 with the champion in week number 1 and also make a deep run in the playoffs, quite possibly one of the Cinderella stories of the entire Masters Tour and Hearthstone Grandmasters system. We have Possessi, who was able to get to 2 top 8s for the Swiss portion and also make a deep playoffs run, very similar to Empanizado's trajectory, showing Japan's rise in APAC. And that's it. We only have 3 newcomers, apparently. Or other newcomers made such a lack of an impression that we didn't really include them. But with that, no Europe newcomers. Are you surprised to see that, Raven?
A little bit. I don't know. I think it was a tough season for some of the newer players in Europe. I think it was more about them surviving more than anything else. But I think a lot of the big hits from Europe came from, for example, Silvername doing very well and Hunter Ace going out. So it was more of less about the newcomers doing well and more about maybe the old timers having a very, very mixed season. So a little bit surprised, I'll admit. But I do think next season we've got a lot coming up for the newcomers anyway. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I think like Zim was in Division B in Falcane while he qualified to Division A. He finished bottom 2, so not the best newcomer performance for Europe. But hey, 3 new French players to try and that's right coming into this season.
And I also wanted, speaking of Asia Pacific there, just for a moment, memes aside for one moment, I have been so impressed with Possessi this season. The kind of the trifecta of Japanese players that we have now in APAC really starts to make sense with Possessi rounding it out. Very strong practicing. He's been one of the best players in Masters Tours as well as in the Grandmasters system. And I'm so glad that he's in the system now because he's a very well-deserving GM.
That's right. So, you know, this is actually quite a serious category. So let's go ahead and reveal in a very serious fashion who is winning the best newcomer for Hearthstone Grandmasters Season 1 of 2020. And without further ado, Derek Brown had alluded to it. It is Possessi, one of the 3 Japanese players. I'm thinking about that tweet where it was just him, Gloria, and Alatimo, and I still can't really comprehend it. But a really job well done. Possessi had shown impressive plays, even going back to the Masters Tour in 2019, just showcasing why he was definitely worthy to be considered. And Apex just constantly been on the rise, and I feel like Japan's been a really big part of that, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the mix of the old and the new with Japanese players, and I think they're coming together so beautifully, and always just being that little bit step ahead of the rest of the APAC playing field, which of course means they're 1 week behind the Europe Grandmasters, but it's still progress that we're making here in Asia Pacific.
I was going to say, I think I do remember even last year, like Alu Timu, I think was one of the first players who brought Combo Priest when like the whole of Europe had been submitting it for weeks. So you are right, but I do think with another Japanese player in the pool, that Asia Pacific is just continuing to improve over time. It's going to be pretty sick next season.
I guarantee you that Derek thought that category was going to find some way to make fun of him.
I think you still will. I feel like I'm Reek in Game of Thrones. Like, I always feel like there's some kind of trick final to come. I can't have hope, or I will have it ripped from me.
That was the bait and switch, and APAC has won all 3 categories thus far.
That's right.
It's
kind of ominous. It's a red flag, very similar to the background of Derek Brown, as we get ready for category number 4, and quite possibly the most serious and most intense award category that we have for tonight. It is the best cat.
One of the more, I mean, it's one of the decks that does have some answers to some of the things it's trying to do, right? Because no matter how big a board that you make, you can still just get blown out by Plague of Flames, by Dark Skies, etc. most of the time. Masters.
They grow up so fast, son. And the victory cat.
I want a victory cat.
What Zephyrus gives here. Shaxi is not happy with this angle.
POV of my camera 5 minutes before we go live. It's, whatever you're doing, buddy, it's not fixing it. I hate to break it.
I'm very distracted.
Or a Sorcerer's Apprentice probably is the best 2-drop. I can't concentrate on the game, Shaq. It's too much, man. But now he still has the Winged Guardian in play. It hasn't been killed off yet, and he's going into a fully invoked Galakron.
I hope you saw the cat this time.
I did see the cat this time. It was very cool.
Quest Adventurers.
I do like Spy Mistress a lot, I will tell you that. You know, I talked about it in the previous series with Ore Control, where he was, how he described it as making game ending on turn 1 against Hunter and Hunter as well. Like, that's a theory that I very much subscribe to as well.
And there you have it. It looks like Boston's cat and my cat would get along really well because they both seem to give us Colossus of the Moon. For people who don't know, of course, that is widely considered to be the worst card that you can get from Bearcat in Rogue because it is so hard to play. And when you do, it's not really what Rogue wants to be doing for their game plan. But alas, you got to see a lot of wide range of cat behavior, from disruption to straight up collusion. Door Control and his cat, whispering about plays. I thought this was an individual league, Raven, but apparently it's a team league. You're allowed to bring pets to co-op. Is that true?
Yeah, I think there he's just really reading the rules well, and I don't think there's anything in the rules that say you can't get help from animals. So actually, I think he's just about skirting under the radar there and getting the job done. I also like the persistence of Shaxy's cat. It's just for so long you're just wondering what was going on, and then the cat appears. It's like, okay, now we know.
Yeah, it's a great point you bring up there, Raven, about reading the rules carefully, because it means with Gallon moving over to the design team outside of Grandmasters, it means that Airbud is going to be joining us in Grandmasters next season. No one read the rules. Turns out it's fair game.
That's right. And it turns out he, too, brought Tempo Demon Hunter. So it's going to be a really fun season. Definitely looking forward to see how more pets can enter the Hearthstone Grandmasters Team League going into Season 2 of 2020. With that, let's go ahead and check out who wins the category of Best Cat.
And Blitzchung, of course, doesn't have the... Oh my God.
What is that cat doing?
I don't know. How does it get all the way up there? I mean, it's a cat, of course. It can climb anywhere, but jeez.
his laptop's really warm or something?
I imagine it got up there with his legs, but I'm not an expert.
Yeah, Gia doing her classic trend of not even needing me in the conversation, posing her question and then answering it instantly because she knows everything better than I do.
That's right.
See,
got the playbook from TJ.
That category was a subtle jab at Derek because all it takes is just a single cat to throw him completely off his game and get completely distracted and not be able to talk about Hearthstone.
That's right. That's right. All right, so with that, we are already almost halfway done. We have Category 5 coming up, the Best BM. BM, of course, standing for Bad Matters and nothing else. And, you know, we have a lot of nominees, apparently, for this category. I'm pretty interested, and so let's go ahead and take a look at our nominees for the Best BM of the season. Finds a no duplicate effect with the Elise, but it's just choosing Madame Lazul. Okay.
Yeah, I think his hand was a little too full to pick an Elise.
I mean, it's not going to be that full after this.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he could have followed that up with Elise, but yeah, I think, like you said, I think he just wants to find a play for next turn.
Yeah, he was not. He didn't have anything on turn 4, so that makes sense here. Monsanto with an eyebrow raise. Yeah, that's hard to beat.
There's the concede for Falcane. Missing the deadly shot. Was it to end? And there we go. What? The best part is, it's like that was so close that game, and Bosch was like, ha, wrecked. It's like, you just take the win though. Ball control. Further going now to a 3-1 score.
Ball control. Quick as you like, blink and you will have missed it, is going to take this series down 3-0. For those of you who aren't familiar with this, like I think it means just like good boy, like you'd say to a dog, essentially. Hence the dog picture. I think it's funny to French people. I don't particularly understand it, but I know it's something that Boar and Falcane throw back and forth on their stream.
And here we go, Gia. Tyler
Now.
promised us a good celebration if he wins, and here it is.
Oh! No! 2 dabs! This is amazing.
That was the
Tyler's
cutest
whole
thing I've ever
family,
seen.
his whole family is flexing on all the other Grandmasters.
All right, some pretty tight races. We might actually get a 2-time winner here for the Hearthies. TJ, talk to me a little bit about of what we just watched here.
She's gonna win every category. I felt like those got progressively more BM. You know, just an emote before an Edwin Van Cleef. I don't know. That one's a little tame. I feel like everybody emotes before an Edwin Van Cleef these days. I feel like that might even be good banners at this point, just to let your opponent what's coming.
GM.
Let your opponent know what's coming. Yeah, it's yeah, exactly.
GM, if you will.
Yeah.
It's so telling. The Americas, the most that we can do for showmanship apparently is dress up in a suit similar to Raven and raise your eyebrows wistfully as your opponent plays an Edwin Van Cleef on turn 3.
Yeah, that's about
I do enjoy
it.
just generally in Hearthstone, BM is more like just a wet noodle fight, isn't it? Because none of it's that bad. If the best we've got is what we've seen there, especially from Americas, then I think there should be a lot more to come in GM Season 2. I've got high hopes for the new Grandmasters.
Yeah,
I
I feel
also
like
think
this.
that
Go ahead.
Subtle being confused there by the meme of Bond 2-2. I'm pretty sure even French people don't know what it means. Like, French memes are like Latin at this point. It's a dead language that no one understands, and yet it's still everywhere, and it means nothing.
Okay, we have a new winner for Best
Wow,
BM.
Derek-
Can we just clip that?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was gonna say TJ and Derek's abusive relationship was going to be the best BM, but apparently Derek Brown exiling himself from the European Hearthstone community just now is probably going to be the best BM. But with that, let's go ahead and reveal the winner of our 5th category, the best BM.
And here we go,
Just
Gia.
our thing
Tyler
now.
promised us a good celebration if he wins, and here it is.
Oh! No! 2 dabs!
As Tyler... Well, actually, if you kind of realize this, that Tyler's mom has now officially won more titles than Tyler has in Hearthstone.
And that's the best BM.
We need to redo the category. Redo the category. Oh, jeez.
Oh boy. All right. Before we make every Grandmaster mad from every region, let's move on to category number 6, which is a special one near and dear to Hearthstone fans who have been there since the beginning. It is the Life Coach Award for Career Achievements in Roping.
Roping
Go
out
to
the
the
category.
video.
We're roping out the category.
It's a little bit more useful early.
The pleasure is mine.
All right. Well, yeah, pretty reasonable. And,
Hi, Eddie.
he saw the generous moment. He's like, I'm out.
Well, I don't anticipate Eddie doing a whole lot more with his turn. As he's just letting the rope burn down. Language Hacker mulling over what his turn 1 is going to be. Or his turn 2, rather, which is probably just going to be the life tap. You know, Frodan, I watched the Warcraft movie again last night, actually. For the first time.
Did you?
Yeah, and playing both minions out.
Time just yet, right?
Too, but also
Kablam!
spell on a desert island with you.
Right?
That's true. That is true, actually. Twisting Nether turn. I will admit, when since I moved to casting Europe GM this year, I did have to prepare myself to cast any Bunny Hopper matchup, whether it was the most aggressive decks or the slowest. It didn't matter. I needed snacks. I needed multiple bottles of water. I needed breaks as well. It's something quite to behold, especially when you get in a Priest Mirror, in which he cannot win as well. So it does make sure it goes on for quite a while.
There was only 2 nominees. Because Bunny Hopper roped out the nominee reel.
Wow, that's a real 5-head joke, TJ. It went straight over my brain. But with that, let's go ahead and find out who out of the 2 nominees won this category.
It's, 2015, 2016, I was hearing of that name. And to make it to a top 8, Bunny Hopper was taking a nap at the end there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if you're Bunny Hopper, you must have very different ways to doing things to the rest of the world, because that's what makes you Bunny Hopper.
Right. For a second there, I was like, wow, Derek has aged a lot from Bunny Hopper roping. I was like, oh, wait, no, that's...
Well, I did think Derek was going to come out with some kind of long lifetime achievement. Like, this is a lifetime achievement, and that's why we're going to give it to Lorinda, because he's by far lived the longest life out of all of us so far. Yeah. You went for something a bit more serious.
Wow.
That's the meme where I'm like, me waiting for Scholarman's Academy to come out.
That's right. Waiting for the next expansion, Derek, into Neil Lorinda Bond.
Oh, jeez.
All right, we are more than halfway through now. Just a few categories left. Coming up next, category number 7, the worst matchup. Let's go ahead and check out what that means. All right, so Quest Warlock favored versus Demon Hunter at a whopping, 16-38%. Who did... TJ, who's in charge of typing out that
38% was its worst matchup. So 38% was from the Demon Hunter side.
Got it. Okay.
So now this is from
Demon Hunter
the Druid side.
Versus Druid, right. So these are some really polarized matchups that we've had that 70% favored for Demon Hunter.
Holy
and then
moly.
Highlander Hunter versus Warrior at a almost 75% favorite for Warrior, or 25% underdog for the Hunter.
Why wouldn't people just ban Warrior? That's my only question.
The turn 1 play favored versus Totem Shaman. Playing anything on turn 1 was a 100% win rate versus Totem Shaman during week 3 of Hearthstone Grandmasters.
It's true.
I mean,
it's
can't
true.
really go up against the data. It happened apparently 100,000 times.
I mean, we played a lot of games of Totem Shaman that week. I'm pretty sure everybody submitted Totem Shaman. And this is all-time stats on ladder 2.
That's right. We had Vicious Syndicate's best experts on the case.
Yeah. They've never won. They've never beaten the turn 1 play. That's the downside of the deck, you know. So decks have to have weaknesses, and Totem Shaman's weakness just happens to be literally anything on turn
Cards.
That's right.
Damn it.
Cards.
Yeah. My opponent played a card, and now my deck doesn't work.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
Poor Totem
So
Shaman.
with that, let's go ahead and reveal who wins the category of the worst matchup. And of course, it is Totem Shaman, a 0% win rate when your opponent plays a card on turn 1, which makes sense. But perhaps maybe in the expansion for the Skullamass Academy, maybe Shaman can finally get some love, because I think that might have been the only week we have really seen Shaman in Grandmasters considerably. But it was a fun week. I think it was a really fun format in hindsight, and I think we should definitely continue to flesh that out more.
Yeah, it was refreshing. It was refreshing to see some different decks, and not see Demon Hunter, because at that point, we were only on round 2 of round 5 of nerfs for Demon Hunter, so it was still quite powerful. But it was a fun week, even though watching Totem Shaman lose over and over again was somewhat depressing. It was still a fun week.
All right, so with that, let's move on to our next category. We have a new one to the Hearthies called the best facial hair. No explanation necessary. Ooh. All right, Monsanto, who with every week looked like he was already, celebrating quarantine in style.
And Zim there showing the true power of the French beard growing.
It took him months.
It's only one side.
Fire bet.
One side cheek.
Yes.
Oh, the throwback.
Oh, this was definitely one of the highlights. It's not just Muzzy, it's Firebat, who also was aware that Muzzy had the mustache and therefore was cosplaying Muzzy or having the mustache face off. I mean, who says America doesn't have some of the most favorable personalities in all of esports?
The only way Americas can win a category is when we cheat with the category and make one of the nominees from 2019 instead of 2020. But the mustache was just so powerful that it transcended seasons and years. It's timeless.
And I like that Dan has taken the same approach that I did as soon as I hit puberty of, you can't be boring with a mustache, right? That has to make you interesting and likable. Obviously, it did not.
I mean, apparently that's a personality trait in the Americas. So we needed to find a way to win a category, guys. So we nominated 3 out of 4 for the Americas. So with that, let's go ahead and see who won the best facial hair for Hearthstone Grandmasters, apparently of all time.
I'd love it if it was Zim.
It's Muzzy and Firebat. Some great throwbacks. This was also the time when Firebat, by the way, was going through his vacation shirts and showcasing all the fun that he was having on top of competing and being a Hearthstone superstar. We did it, DJ. We won a category.
We won a category, finally. From 2019, we cheated a little bit, but, whatever you got to do. Again, go back to the rules. It wasn't in the rule book for the Hearthies that all the nominees had to be from 2020. They're allowed to be from 2019. And, we took liberty with that. So I hope that Muzzy will bring back the mustache at some point. The Muzz stash. It was glorious.
It looks good. It's
glorious.
A very good stash.
That's right. That's right. Muzzy's actually been kind of stepping up in this game lately, trying to make those things really fun. So looking forward to see what's going to be coming out next season as well. This last 2 categories are probably ones that most people would want us to include every single season. This 9th category we're calling the craziest outcome. Let's check out our nominees.
Shuts off Eddie's ability to be able to, Inner Rage copy it or Inner Rage Rampage copy it. So,
you think it was worth trading and taking that 5 HP from Twilight Drake? Oh my!
Wait a second.
Oh my goodness! Never mind. Oh wow! That's
a
really convenient battle rage.
It dealt 9 damage to the Warmaw Challenger and 1 to the Sky Raider.
That is a statistical anomaly.
That means Eddie flipped 9 coins in a row and got heads all 9 times.
Okay, to win 9
Risky skipper.
50-50s in a row is 0.002%.
That's insane.
But the thing is, Eddie gets to play Soul of the Forest. Wow. Oh
He-
my goodness.
He drew 5 of his portals.
It's in his name, but he's not this great. He can't actually deal with everything. And now Eddie can just pick apart the board. Oh, wasted Dream Portal though.
He only has 1 portal left in his deck with 15 cards. It's like he just shuffled all the portals right on top of his deck.
Yeah, pretty absurd.
Oh, man.
And I'm not knocking on. I don't think it's a bad choice. Was it the best choice? Wow, what a pickup here from Language Hacker. Huge draw. Now he gets to play the Puzzle Box of Yaxaron. So a fist pump in the air. Language Hacker has the opportunity to potentially steal this game from the Druid. To it, so he has to just go straight for the puzzle box. Here we go. 10 chances. Woo! All right, already
Good start.
super good.
Good start. All right, keep it coming.
What?
Uh-oh, tracking.
Why is this hilarious? 4 more.
Snipe.
He is very much holding a dragon.
He's still-
And last one. True, it could all go wrong if you hit the counselor a few too many times.
Yeah. And he's just like, I hate my life right now.
What?
He got Frost Nova again. Wait, he started off with the exact same 2 spells.
Oh,
he's going for
a desperate
Doomsayer.
Doomsayer, but that's not going to do it. And so what's interesting is that Language Hacker was playing with the understanding that he thinks Eddie had the damage from hand, but he really didn't.
No, he didn't.
That card goes in there. Oh, he's going to do it! Yes!
Oh, here we go.
It is time! Well, I don't believe the buff actually influenced anything. For example, I don't think Jiraxis actually gains a fire attack weapon or extra health, but it's the chunk of...
He has to puzzle box himself.
DJ, what if this game ends in a tie?
Well, then Language Hacker wins the series.
If there wasn't a taunt in the way, Language Hacker had a chance! And Language Hacker, his minions are green, implying the game is over.
Holy Ripple.
Has to just avoid drawing cards. It drew a card!
Oh, no!
Barring an incredible last spell, that means he is dead. And just like that.
That was all from the same series. That was a single series of Hearthstone that all those things happened in. One series of Hearthstone.
I remember.
Americas can win things.
There's too bad there's not a 60-year-old Asian caster that works in Hearthstone Esports, because that would be me if that was the juxtaposition from Derek to Lorinda. Do we even really need to talk about it? Let's go ahead and show the craziest outcome, which is just this game. This series,
that one match of
Language
Hearthstone.
Hacker. One of the most legendary series.
Promised us a good celebration if he wins, and here it is.
Oh! Two dabs!
The Triple Crown!
Well, let me tell you,
She wasn't even a nominee!
They don't call her Tyler's 3 Hearthies mum for nothing.
We still have another category, and I'm not even sure if it's clear whether or not she won that.
Do we just show the winner for the next category at this point?
And up next, it's Best Tyler's Mum.
And then someone else.
The second one.
Just before we move on to the next category, just that last series, how it played out. I think I counted 5 Slayer and Primes played on either side, and 4 puzzle boxes played combined on either side.
Game.
Yeah, in the same game. At the end of that game, Language Hacker was Jiraxis, and he started as a mage, and Eddie was Reno, and he started as a priest.
And went
so
through
they weren't even
Galakrond.
the same like heroes that they started with. Both of them were,
Right.
and it was insane.
They were dual classes before
They were.
Skull and Mass Academy actually came.
Essentially, yeah, just crazy,
The mage
crazy.
priest and the mage warlock.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our last category. Believe it or not, that was not the best moment. At least so we think. This is our final category, category number 10, the best moment of Hearthstone Grandmasters Season 1 of 2020.
The asterisk, those were the players who were playing at the start of the day, but they have already got all the points they're going to get. It does, of course, mean Glory is now up with an additional 2 points at 14, finishing incredibly impressively in first place. That means he got 14 out of a possible 18 points over the 3 weeks. A very, very impressive record overall. What a way to go out, Gia. Glory and Surrender, the 2 best performing players this season, capping it out with a perfect final with these 2 Titans. He's praying. Maybe Glory was bluffing. Maybe he doesn't have it, but we can see from the relief on Glory's face that he has done it, Gia. At the final moment, 1 damage off lethal on the previous turn, but now Surrender does fall down. And Glory is our representative from Asia Pacific going to the World Championships later this year.
Oh my gosh, what a series, Tarek. That was incredible. Huge congratulations to Glory. It means so much to him.
And that's going to do it. Bloodyface tosses out the well played. We have a back-to-back regional champion. Bloodyface, one more time, is going to go to the World Championship in the 2nd consecutive season dating back to 2019, as he has unfinished business where he finished 2nd to VK Lion. Well played.
Awesome composure, awesome play from Bloodyface, and I can't wait to see him back at the World Championship.
Sure, I mean, if you want to be ludicrously pessimistic, but it doesn't matter now. Very little seems to matter. Silvername with the biggest pop-off. Silvername, the man, the maniac, the legend himself, is going to the World Championship as Europe's representative for Season 1 in 2020. Huge congratulations to him. He has over $110,000, I think, in career earnings. Not from streaming, from competing in and winning Hearthstone tournaments. Like, this is a man with a serious competitive pedigree. You do not want to miss anything that comes up at the World Championship involving Silvername, because I promise you he is going to put on a show.
All right, so our 3 winners for the Hearthstone Grandmasters Season 1. The representative will be joining a member from China for the global finals later this year. It's tough. It's a tough race, TJ, Raven, Derek. Any thoughts? TJ, who do you think is the most deserving out of all of them?
Well, they all had such cool but different stories, right? Glory dominated pretty much the whole season. He finished first in Swiss points and kind of beat who everybody kind of considers the best player, one of the best players, if not the best player in APAC, which is Surrender in the finals. Silvername, he didn't have a good showing in 2019. Nobody can really say that. And, a lot of people were saying he was just a streamer, but proving everybody wrong and taking the win there. And Bloodyface has just had, the most dominant 2 years in competitive Hearthstone that we've seen from any player. Back-to-back seasonal championships, 3 world championships, just an insane run. So they all have, kind of different stories coming in, different paths to the same place. But it's been really cool to watch all 3 of them.
Raven, you want to fight for Silvername a little bit more here? Sato kind of pumped it up a little bit more. Why don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Saul said that everything, but genuinely, I think you can just watch the camera at the end of that. Not only beating Bunny Hopper in the final, but when he's so hyped. He's just gone. He's already left. I think it just shows that, yes, he's a super, popular, well-known streamer, but he wants to win, right? And I think you saw that right there and then. Because if he wasn't that bothered, you would not get that reaction from him, which was pretty great to watch. But again, I think TJ's kind of right. All 3 are great because all I know now is we're going to have a fantastic Worlds. No matter what happens in Season 2, I'm already doing pretty good so far.
And Derek, any last vote of confidence? I know you already kind of hyped up the Japanese scene and how they've been doing super well in APAC recently. Any last thoughts on Glory as a potential candidate here?
Yeah, I mean, Glory's results speak for himself, like TJ was saying, coming first in the Swiss and then winning the entire first season of GM. But one thing that I think isn't so immediately obvious, unless you've been closely following the scene, is what Glory's overcome to get here. He's always been a very strong player, but his nerves have consistently got the better of him, specifically when he's doing well. He plays okay when he's doing poorly, but when there's something on the line, he actually starts believing himself. That's when things start to crumble. But this season, he turned that around, got his nerves and his mental game on point, and I think he is a real favorite to be the world champion for this year.
All right, so with that, you've heard all of our cases to potentially pick our region's winners as the winner of the best moment. Let's go ahead and reveal who won. Category 10, the final category of the Hearthies for today, the best moment.
It's us! We won Best Moment. The Hearthies won Best Moment 2020.
I'm glad no one else gets a vote on this, TJ.
Raven,
we did it, guys!
The Hearthies next season.
Congratulations, all of you. I mean, just
this was
a
the
stellar
best
job.
Moment.
This is the best moment.
Nothing from the actual season.
Nope. Right now. This is
during the off season. Okay.
Nope. The Hearthies.
I mean,
the Hearthies is the best moment of 2020 season 1, and no contest.
It's been a long journey for me, all the way from my bed half a meter away to the desk where I started recording. Thanks, guys.
Very much. Didn't even change your clothes
Tyler's
either.
Mom. I'd like to thank Tyler's mom. She really helped us get to this point with triple victories. Really unprecedented. Yeah. She swept the Hearthies. It's going to make international headlines everywhere tomorrow morning. You heard it here first.
Yeah. But, I don't think there's anybody else that I can thank but myself,
That's right.
I worked really hard to win this award for all of us, and I just wanted to put that out here. So congratulations, guys. Your Hearthies will be in the mail in a couple years.
That's right. Raven, any acceptance speech on your behalf?
No, I'll just hop on the end of TJ's and say I'd also like to thank TJ, as in case anyone doesn't know, he's the one who picks a lot of these things. So yeah, slightly fixed, but we'll receive your complaints at some point. But I don't think it'll change anything. So get ready for the one next time.
Nobody can argue that I spent way too much time.
Well, I think what's important is it in the rules that you can't just let us win?
Yeah.
So I don't think it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your commitment
Well-
to the unimportant is staggering, TJ.
Thank you. That means
Perhaps
lot.
a really wholesome moment to commemorate everything that's happened in the past season, and perhaps a warning of what happens when you have two crying children at night, and you're tasked with trying to come up with awards and winners in a very cheeky way. But it's been really fun, and we've had a great time. But it's about to get even better because Friday, August 14th, we are back for Hearthstone Grandmasters Season 2. With Scholomance Academy already out, we're really excited to see what all the new cards will breathe into the formats, into the players, and of course, who will be getting those last half spots for the World Championships later this year. Any final thoughts? Go around the tavern one last time. Derek Brown, any final closing thoughts from you?
Just can't wait to get back in the driving seat with APAC Grandmasters. We got a brand new suite of GMs joining us here, and it is going to be sweet.
Raven?
Yeah, just we're edging ever closer, not only to getting started with Season 2, but also we're moving towards those worlds at some point, right? We're going to see the players we already have go up against, as well, the winners of Season 2 across the region. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see who makes it.
And finally, TJ.
Friday, August 14th is my 30th birthday. So what better way to celebrate my 30th birthday than to kick off Season 2 of Grandmasters for 2020?
Wow.
Honestly, I can't wait, especially since, as of last week, we have the newest America's Grandmaster who will be joining us now that Gallon is moving on to Team 5. Killing all day. I've been waiting for this moment.
God.
4 years, 5 years maybe. I don't know. I don't even remember. I have a YoCad shirt just sitting there waiting for the broadcast. The first time he appears on broadcast, I hope he does well and we've won a Swiss because that'd be awkward if he didn't. But I've been waiting for this moment forever. My biases will show through. I will promise you that, and I can't wait, Dan.
It's
Your
gonna be
biases
great
will show
when
through.
Killing
Your
All Day
biceps
does well
will
and loses to Blade-Face anyways in the finals because apparently that's what's going to be happening in the next season. And we'll find out all these storylines and more. Make sure to go to playhearthstone.com/esports for all things related to Hearthstone Grandmasters and the Masters Tour if you too want to get involved and follow along all the action throughout the season. That's it from us. Frodan, TJ, Raven, Derek, and everybody else here as part of the Hearthstone Grandmasters program. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more Hearthstone action.